I was watching. You end up doing this show with Samantha Bee.
Yeah.
And again, I think maybe in the UK, people won't be quite as familiar with this work as they should be.
Don't all.
But it's available online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you do. Again, I was saying this backstage. Yeah. This is something that happens in America a lot. Well, we've seen John Oliver. People will have seen John Oliver's show.
Yeah.
And John Oliver sort of started out doing like funny interviews with people where they were sort of factual, but he sort of slightly had a comic bent to them, and it's the same sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
So I saw you talking to one of my personal heroes, Lembit Opik.
Oh God.
And he's not that much of a personal hero because I did not realise where his life had gone.
I think it's. I looked him up recently, and I think it's taken a turn since I interviewed him.
Oh, is it?
I think so, because he's now like a climate skeptic, right?
Is he?
Climate skeptic. That's a nice way of saying it. It doesn't sound that bad, does it?
Well, I mean, you were interviewing him about being the representative.
Okay, maybe his life is taking a turn. I
mean, look, he was having sex with one of the cheeky girls the last time
he was so sensitive about that because I always try and warm everyone up. I was interviewing. Oh, it's such a long walk, but it is worth it because there's a community of all men, nearly all white men actually, who've started a new country on the moon, and it's called Asgardia, and it's funded by a Russian billionaire who's made himself the king, and they've got an anthem. And Lembit Opik, really randomly, is a big part of it, and he's like, obviously because of his English accent, he's got this, people really respect him in it. And I'd gone out to their, I guess they had some like inauguration ceremony in Vienna. And there's a lot of money, and I interviewed Lembit, and so you have to warm everyone up because I knew it was going to be a bit of a tense interview. Because it's something like 90% male in this new country on the moon, and there's just stuff I need to sort out before I join. And I was warming him up, and I was like, Heathrow expansion. And he was like, oh, I hate it. And I said, oh, England in the World Cup, we're just finding common ground. Oh, we both didn't like Brexit. And then I mentioned one of the cheeky girls, and he lost it.
Really?
Because they weren't married, they were only engaged.
Yeah. And
he also told me it was just one of them, and he got really shirty, like I had suggested that he'd marry them both, and that was like... anyway, and it was really hard to keep him warm. But anyway,
I don't like him. When I came across, I don't want to say when I came across him. When the one time our paths crossed was when I was ejaculating on his face. No, it was
You weren't like this with others.
I wasn't. I had some respect for her. I had respect, and then now this is when I can let go in the second.
Give you that release.
Interview. I mean, in next week's interview. He tried his hand at stand-up comedy, Lembit Opik. Quite nearby here, actually. He was in the basement of one of these clubs nearby here, and I saw him try to be a stand-up comedian, and all I remember from it, and I did, at the time I was doing my show As It Occurs to Me, so this became quite a running joke in As It Occurs to Me, but someone heckled him, and he said, I'll do the jokes. Oh. And you kind of go, no, you're not, well, you better start, and that's not a good heckle, but I'll do the jokes.
I don't think it's that. I don't know. I mean, it's not the worst thing that he's ever... Like, he denied...
No, it's not the worst thing he's ever done. No, he's done a lot. He believes that you can have a country on the moon. Well, isn't it? Is it even on the moon, or is it just in space? Is it just in a spaceship?
It's ideally on the moon, but, like, they've got steps. And the first one, which they were celebrating, was... I don't know why he didn't do this in a stand-up, because it was really funny. They got, like, They just got a satellite capsule in space. They just shot something up in space, and they're like, that's our first...
Yes.
That's the country... And people were allowed to put something in, and people put in like photo of their mum and stuff. And then all these dudes are just going to go and move to the moon whenever they can and make a go of it. With like 10 women, of which they really wanted me to join. I've never had so much attention in my life. There was a part of me that was tempted, but ultimately...
I mean, imagine being one of the 10 women and all the men that are like Lembit Opik. I mean, he was the best-looking one as well. Lembit was the best-looking out of the ones I saw.
Everyone would be calling me their cheeky girl, wouldn't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a very funny piece, so people should
you.
go and check that out. And it looked like a really fun job, this going around, you talking to lots of Trump supporters in various places.
Lots of Trump rallies.
How was it being in America? So that was during the first...
Yeah.
I mean, you've only just come back, right? Quite recently, the last couple of years.
Yeah, last year.
You haven't been in America for the second.
No.
How was the first term of Donald Trump from your perspective?
Oh, finally. It wasn't as bad, was it?
No, it wasn't.
It's really bad, but some things do quite well from some. Like a lot of very left-wing charities and like left-wing shows did really well out of it. And I look back now and I'm like, that was a peak career time for a lot of us in late night, and now it's all gone mostly. But that's really good, ultimately, for the best, because we needed Biden. But it was actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
And it was awful because he made so many people's lives just so much worse, but then there was so much material and everyone was miserable. And now it's just gone past that stage and everyone's miserable and more stressed and upset.
Yeah, it's taken a sort of turn because even the stuff you were doing was quite like accepting of Trump supporters. It wasn't, I mean, you were taking the mickey, but it wasn't, it didn't seem like super mean or super like what you do. It was like you made friends almost with some of them, right?
I did make friends. I don't think you could do that now. I think it's gone so far that you couldn't. And we never liked him. You know, the first thing he did was the Muslim ban. Like, I never was on his side. But I did feel sorry for some of his supporters. And there was this one guy called Randall who I met 3 times at different Trump rallies. And he ultimately died in a drink driving accident at the helm of the wheel on his way back from a Trump rally. Wow. And he was lovely, like R.I.P. Randall. He was like completely just exactly what you'd expect. Like, clearly had a lot of problems, clearly was not very clever at all, and he wasn't like that mean.
Yeah.
So we did have fun. He bought me like a cowboy hat and called me a snowflake and gave me these crushing hugs. But yeah, now I just don't think you could do that because they're all fascists and it's just not really that funny anymore.
Yes, that's true.
And there were fascists there. I met a lot of fascists. But we kind of avoided them and, went for the people that you feel a bit sorry for.
Is it because it's sort of interesting that first term passed by and, admittedly he tried to create an insurrection to...
It wasn't great.
Yeah.
No.
But it seemed to be like, oh, well, that's gone. So, like, I think like a lot of people probably felt, well, we've been through one lot and the world didn't end, so maybe we can give him another go. But it does sort of feel like... maybe we won't get another chance to get rid of him at the other end this time.
Yeah, it's just a lot worse this time, and everyone was really worried. It was so different ahead of this one because of Project 2025, and we just knew already that this is... Sorry, it is a comedy podcast.
It's all right, we're allowed to be. We're allowed to.
But it is just so much worse, he could stay on.
Yeah.
People say he couldn't, but he could. You heard it here.
I think he will try. I mean, the good thing, comparative to Hitler, Hitler had youth on his side.
Yeah.
I mean, and I like Hitler. He's part of the one-balled community, and so I have an affinity with Hitler.
The what?
He's part of the one-testicled community.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, well, arguably. He might not have done, but, that's the song. It's in the song. Hitler's only got one ball.
No.
No?
Sorry.
I mean, it's quite, that as a reference is, quite old. But I expected you to know. But yeah, well, he didn't really have one testicle. That's my...
You just don't want him to join your club?
Well, I'm just saying that he wasn't all bad. Whereas, as far as I know, Donald Trump has 2 very saggy testicles that probably look quite like his face. That's what I'm going for. I just
said, you can't really do comedy about Trump anymore because of fascism. And you were like, well, I'll prove you wrong with the great gags.
Look, it's fascinating to see it. I think it's fascinating, it's really bad.
Yeah, it's just I feel really awkward now because I'm just not going to be affected at all. I mean, we will in terms of the planet, but that's what I find really hard commenting about Trump now is just so many people are so fucked.
Yeah.
And we're fine.
Well, you know, unfortunately, whatever happens, this is depressing.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, and even if he goes, well, thanks for my time, I'm going home now. We really need these 5 years. We need like the environment to be at the top of the agenda rather than people making some more coal mines, knocking down wind turbines and.
I feel like as the host, it's your responsibility to get the energy up and keep things good. Because I don't have anything to add that's going to do that.
Well, you seem to do all right there, but which I resent because I was enjoying it being awkward.
Ooh.